I have to cop to something. No, not that. I've actually done a lot of game playing since my last live stream, and well, we've gotten pretty far ahead in the storyline. We're almost at the end, as you can see. We've recruited a few characters, gone through, encountered some familiar ones from previous games. And now it's off to find Ichiban's election rival Kume, or as we call him, Crooked Kume. So without further ado, let's resume our wonderful playthrough. Crooked Kume. So I'm probably going to go and head over to, the battle arena over in Sotenbori. I'm tempted to say Toshinden, but that game had some interesting character designs, particularly, but but particularly Sophia, for certain reasons. But couldn't help but think that it kind of sucked. You know what I mean? Nevertheless, the visuals, the weapons-based fighting game was kind of precursor to Soul Calibur, which is an infinitely much better fighting experience. I shall return. Don't go away. So now we are back. Let's head over to the battle arena. Let's make maybe one run through or so. Should be good, and then we'll resume the main story, which has ramped up in intensity lately, particularly with the return of some characters from previous Yakuza games. I dare say the only one I played before this was Yakuza 0, which I loved tremendously. Probably the best, open world sandbox type experience I've ever played. Aside from Grand Theft Auto 4, of course, which I like how Grand Theft Auto 4 was kind of rooted compared to the other Grand Theft Autos. Yakuza, both games are kind of zany, but I like how Grand Theft Auto 4, kind of kept things kind of rooted, and I was a beast in multiplayer, in its multiplayer mode. Holy mackerel! Humble brag. Oh, he got booped. Good lord. Damn, there's no chill on this woman. Holy mackerel. So I've switched all the main characters over to Javas, with which they were previously unfamiliar. And I think they've all made for a really good combination thus far. Although I might switch Kasuga over back to Bodyguard for some of the main story, for parts of the main story, because those fights are getting really difficult. Actually, I thought I over-leveled for the Majima fight. The 4-on-2 fight you have against Majima, and even I still got my ass kicked, handed to me the first time I attempted the battle. I'm not even really paying attention right now. Wow, imagine the damage she could have done if she had actually aimed. Holy mackerel. Ah, the suplex. First time I ever seen that move, you know, the best. Well, maybe not first time, I mean, but the best time I've ever seen that move get pulled in any form of media was in the movie Flashpoint. You know, not the lame ass superhero crap. I'm talking like you know, the Hong Kong crime action drama starring Donnie Yen and Colin Chow. They had that great, and Louis Koo. They had that. You know, Donnie and Colin had that amazing fight scene at the end, and you know they're doing everything. I mean, you know they got their, you know, MMA. They had Donnie brought his, you know, Taekwondo, his Muay Thai, you know, his Jiu-Jitsu game. He even brings that pro wrestling aspect. There's a scene where he suplexes Colin Chow into I think it was a pile of bricks, and holy mackerel, it was, wow. I've never seen a, you know, that's what I like about, you know, Hong Kong movies. Which in part inspired Yakuza. You know, they know how to make things tense. They know how to, you know, they know how to design, how to keep fights constantly interesting. You know what I mean? And not just Hong Kong, but also Indonesia. I mean, when the Americans try to do something like it, you know, you get something like John Wick, and after like the 50th guy, you know, gets jujitsu to the ground, gets its head blown off, it starts to get tedious, you know what I mean? And it doesn't help by any at all that Keanu Reeves isn't really a martial artist. He's, you know, an actor playing one. You know, I'd rather, much rather see, you know, Donnie Yen, you know, of course all those neck beards, you know, the Reddit types are probably going to have my ass in a plate if they ever see this, which I doubt, but then, you know, I thought John Wick sucked tremendously. I mean, it's like, it just feels like a stunt reel. It really just feels like a stunt reel, you know? You know what I mean? A stunt reel on top of a DTV, direct-to-video framework. I mean, I thought The Equalizer was a much better movie than John Wick. Both Equalizers 1 and 2. I mean, they know how to pace the action. They actually had a good actor, you know, cast in the lead role. And they actually had a story I actually gave a damn about. This guy's putting up a fight. We need to give him good old suplex treatment. The other martial arts movie I really enjoyed lately, I mean, Triple Threat, yeah, it had its moments. I mean, seeing Scott Adkins, you know, Nico Weiss, I think that's how we pronounce it, Tony Jaa, and the man from Tai Chi, and Michael Jai White, and you know, and Bisping, and the Count. Who can forget that? I mean, the Count. Nobody ever forgets the Count. You know, throwing down in the same movie. Holy mackerel! Much, infinitely better than Triple X, which put Donnie Yen and Tony Jaa in the same movie and didn't have them fight. I mean, well, what the hell was that? I mean, you know, Vin Diesel deserves to burn in a short circle of hell for that one. Aside from making a crappy movie, of course. God, I'd rather put up with sleeping through Satoichi, you know, or one of the Outrage movies than having to put myself through the ringer of Triple X again. I've offended like so many people in the last 5 minutes. It's just unreal. But hey, I'm gonna give you the truth, the unvarnished truth every time. I don't care. Haha, not so intelligent now, are ya? You should have... I've never seen this movie before. That's fucking classic. Probably the last time for a long time I'm gonna go through this this battle arena. I mean, was the guy in front before he transformed? Did he kind of look like Inspector? What's the name? No, not Captain Haddock. Like one of the inspectors. You know, with the Hitler mustache. You know, it's Tintin reference. Never mind. I love the movie though. I mean, that movie. That movie. I am just color me surprised they never made a sequel to the movie. I mean, that was one of the few movies I actually liked. The few kids movies. You know, Pixar movies, whatever. Well, whatever they call them. Well, wait, was it a Pixar movie? Who gives a damn? They all look. That was probably the only one that didn't look the same to me. So how about the Knights winning the last 4 games against the Avs? That was probably their biggest challenge. That's probably the one, you know, I mean, in previous years, I think the Knights would have shit the bed, but this year, no, this team feels different. Feels so damn different. Okay, this guy's asking for a suplex. Creeper peeper, holy mackerel. I sense the socialist overtones in this, in this move, but I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I really do. Haha! Feel the wrath of the proletariat, you bastard! I keep forgetting that I actually set what's his face Nanba to be a double rocker. Of all the ways to get killed, you get killed by cookingware. Holy mackerel. Best battle plan here is take out as many enemies as you can, so less you got to deal with before going on to the head honcho. I mean, even though we'd have no problem with the head honcho, but you know. Oh no, that's an OSHA violation right there. No regard for safety. Motherfuckers asking to get fined and get a sternly worded letter. You know, if we can, you know, if Kasuga can make 70, we get that achievement for making level 70. So yeah, we might stay here for however long it takes to get that. Ooh. You know, a lot of people thought, you know, mixing the Yakuza series with Japanese role-playing game elements was a bad idea. But you know what? This game's actually very, very, very good. I mean, probably the best I dare say I've ever played in a long time. Arguably the most addictive. And, you know, judging from the responses of some of the fans on like places like YouTube, I mean, this is probably... I mean, they loved it tremendously, so I would be surprised if this is how they're going to make Yakuza games moving forward. And I wouldn't be surprised if other, you know, game series join in on the fun. I mean, to be fair, I don't think we're ever going to see like a Call of Duty, you know, role-playing game elements. That would just be very, very strange. But nobody really plays that aside from Zoomers and children. Alrighty. Just near this, the robots sound like Katori-chan from Love Live. Should we or shouldn't we? If Terminator taught us anything, it's that bullets don't work against robots. But they never said anything about suplexing. Isn't there one scene in Terminator 3 where, you know, Schwarzenegger's character suplexes Cristiano Lokins into like a toilet or something? I mean, that was pretty fucking based. Or at least slams her head into a toilet seat or something of that nature. I mean, you know, if that had been under the context of anything else, I mean, you know, all those groups, all those, you know, leftist advocacy groups would have been up in arms. But because it was two murderous robots going at each other, I mean, it was perfectly okay, perfectly okay. Oh shit, we're almost out of... Ah shit, we don't have any more. We'll just take out as many as we can. Die, Warrior-chan! You saw this move already, right? It's okay if I can skip it. I'll take that as a yes. I'm a busy man. Haha, your hokey ways are no match for a freaking suplex. I like how Eri is just standing there, you know, all properly in that idol costume. I kept kind of Umi Sonoda vibes watching that. Alright. Yeah, no, I don't want to see that. I think we're gonna go with Zhu Xiaodong over this Kung Fu dude. That dude, I mean, I can't get enough of that. You know, I mean, you gotta admit, watching him beat the shit out of people is like one of the it's like funny as fuck. But then, you know, I don't know, why is he doing it? I mean, you know, maybe he's trying to prove a point. I mean, you know, like trying to disprove all this Qigong stuff, or all these dudes like focusing on Qi and what bullshit like Qi and whatnot. This hokey crap. Whatever it is, it's funny as fuck, but yeah, we'll leave it at that. It is funny as fuck. But generally, though, I do get the sense that, you know, these MMA guys, you know, you know, I'm watching like I was watching the promotional stuff lately. You know these UFC stare downs, like for a bunch of guys, and watching the behavior of UFC fighters, not just during stare downs, but with everything else, especially with the whole Jake Paul thing. And I'm like, for a bunch of guys who claim to be some of the toughest guys to have ever lived, they sure as shit have the thinnest skin I've ever fucking seen. Okay? I mean, these UFC guys claim to be all hard and badass and whatnot. They're getting pissed off over when a YouTuber, what it does as a side hobby, prize fighting, making money to fight, when he does it better as a side hobby than what they've been doing their entire careers. And, they claim, oh yeah, you beat our boy, we can beat you a lot better. And I'm like, I thought you guys were supposed to be martial artists. I mean, whatever happened to the whole Zen thing? I mean, I'm asking because, like, some of the most, badass people I've ever known, whether that, I was in the Army. Okay, some of those badass people I've ever known were, special operations guys who are in the special forces. Unfortunately, we can't suplex Tiger. But anyway, and they were some of the most soft-spoken people I've seen. They didn't need to prove how tough they were. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe it's because, they've already been through the ringer. They've been all through that crazy training. They've probably seen shit. They've probably seen some shit out there, in combat. I mean, I knew this. But they're some of the most soft-spoken, chillest people I've ever met. They're secure in who they are, as people, as warriors. So when I look at these UFC fighters, you had this one fucking moron. I don't even know what his name was. I forget what his name was, and maybe that's a good thing. Shoving another fighter so hard that it cussed that fighter during a stare down. I'm like, if any other organization would have banned that guy, would have banned him for perpetuity. But because UFC, it has all these hijinks, which is like pro wrestling, so it doesn't surprise me that people often compare the two. I mean, that's why people compare the two, because these ridiculous hijinks. I mean, these UFC fighters, they strike me as insecure. I mean, some of the most badass people on earth, they don't need to resort to this silly chest puffing to make them to prove how tough they are. I don't know. I guess they're trying to ape Ali when they do this, but or whatever. But now it's just coming off as silly whenever they do it. I mean, what are you trying to prove? But yeah, I love how Jake Paul's pissing those guys off. I mean, it's like, man. Oh, there's no chill on this woman. Holy shit. The butt kick of justice. I mean, Nagano, he's probably like the most badass guy in UFC currently. And he doesn't need to resort to through all these weird airs, to show how dangerous he is. I mean, he lets his work do the talking. And hopefully we can get him before he gets up. Oh boy, ouch time. I mean, Nate Diaz. I mean, probably one of the fan favorite. Because they like him because he seems like a pretty chill guy. Despite the he seems like that's one guy I can definitely get behind. Diaz, the Diaz brothers, Poirier, Amanda Nunes. She lets her fighting speak for itself. Unlike a certain female fighter whom Nunes kind of knocked out within a minute. I hesitate to call that fighter a fighter. I mean, it's a wrestler and a judoka pretending to be a fighter. I mean, she was basically, the female version of Ben Askren. And speak of Askren, I mean, I know people are kind of picking Woodley to his teammate Woodley to exact revenge on Jake Paul on his behalf, and I'm like, on Askren's behalf, and I'm like, I'm not so sure about that. Paul has been able to this isn't, just a YouTuber just getting into boxing willy-nilly. This is a guy who's been training, legitimately training, who's been able to be in these fight camps, who's been able to afford the best coaches money can buy, who's been able to, have the best nutrition, the best routine. Whereas Woodley, and not to mention, Paul's still pretty young. I don't get why people are picking Woodley to win when as we've seen, MMA striking and boxing are two completely different things. I mean, the stances are different. I mean, the purpose is different. I mean, Woodley has only really used his striking to set up the takedown. I would not be surprised if. I think he presents. That being said, he's certainly not as bad of a striker as Askren was. I mean, Askren was just. I don't know what the hell he was doing out there, aside from just collecting a paycheck. I think that Woodley will put up a much better fight, but that's not a particularly high bar to clear. I was hoping to knock this guy out with him. Damn. Oh yeah, we might actually be able to get level 70 for Kasuga during this run. Oh, we need to get some more of those. $20 says he misses. Yep, I knew it. Alright, you know what to do, Psycho-chan. Damn! No chill on this woman. Alright, we've seen this move already, we can skip through it. Oh, okay, well, what nifty. Yeah, we're gonna have to get some new, some healing products. Fuck. Yep, menacing men. Oh, that narrows it down. What the hell are those tin boxes for? I know I've got those from several boss fight, from not just from here, but several boss fights throughout the last several chapters or so. And I'm like, what the hell do you trade them in for? Too lazy to look it up. Oh, no, I've never seen this before. Let's see. Damn! Alright, let's... Well, looks like he's gonna bound to have a lot more scars after this. Oh boy, here we go. Oh, we can do that? Okay, I'm curious how she's gonna send that entire bulldozer flying. Oh, it's not even showing it then. Oh, it is. Okay. That didn't really do much, but if he misses this thing, I'm gonna take him out of my lineup. There we go. Would it be possible to suplex it? No, I guess not. Yeah, why not? He's gonna slap the excavator. Oh god, not that guy out in front. Holy shit. Yep, shoot his perverted ass. It's so vulgar. I'm sorry you gotta do this to Chiban. Oh, alright, we got it. No, I haven't seen this before either. All right. The Yakuza series is always good at these. These little demonstrations. Beast Brothers. Oh, okay. Oh, this attack team move with, what's his face? Yeah, this guy's kind of a bitch to take down sometimes. What the hell? So fitting. So fitting. I'm disappointed he wasn't making chicken sounds. Or rooster sounds, or whatever the hell he is. Ah, god damn it, I knew... yeah, I'm not used to that. Where's your messiah now? Where were we? Chapter 14? Okay, that's a pretty short chapter. We can do it. Alright, let's take a taxi cab out of here and continue with the main story. Not before we buy some snacks, though. I mean, we're running out of healing items. Yes. No, not right now. I have food to eat. Haha. That reminds me, I might go for burger tonight. Or maybe see what's the food truck's offering out there. Actually, come to think of it, there is a food truck outside right now. We'll wait. Yeah. Alright. Okay. 146 out of 150. Okay. You know what? Might as well do some of these. Hamakita Park. Unhand her, you fiend! Haha! What the hell? Did he just deliberately nosedive into the ground? I'm getting bored. Vampire him. Ah, nifty. This calls for another vampire attack. Oh, I don't think we'll have the opportunity, at least in this fight. That dude was bleeding and on fire. You'd think the flames have cauterized the wound, but video game logic. Alrighty, so now we gotta get to Alright, we still gotta do some of these quests here. But I suppose that can wait. I am going to go grab some grub, and I shall return later on. This has been another wonderful podcast. No, not podcast. Live stream. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you'll tune back in. Probably in a few hours.